Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has promised to do everything he can to stop Ukraine from joining the European Union. He made this clear in a social media post on June 3rd, increasing tensions over the EU's enlargement plans as Brussels pushes to speed up Ukraine's membership process. Orban has been openly criticizing what he calls the bureaucrats in Brussels for pushing Ukraine's EU bid, while the country is still at war with Russia. He wrote on Facebook that for Brussels, Ukraine's accession is about political damage control and business during a losing war. Tensions rose further after Ukraine's security service, the SBU, revealed in May that a Hungarian spy network was operating in western Ukraine. In response, Hungary accused Kiev of spying inside Hungary this year. Hungary has repeatedly blocked the start of EU accession talks with Kiev. Orban has used this veto power before to get concessions from Brussels, such as exemptions from the EU's ban on Russian oil and gas imports. With Ukraine's formal accession process about to begin, both sides are taking harder stances. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said last month the European Commission has a backup plan to bypass Hungary's veto. The plan involves starting work on issues that don't require unanimous EU approval and handling others bilaterally with member states. Although this lacks legal force, it aims to pressure and isolate Hungary while preparing for Orban's eventual exit. Ukraine's EU accession could take a decade, and Orban faces an election next year amid declining popularity. The EU may also strip Hungary of its voting rights under Article 7, which targets countries delaying EU reforms. The European Commission will vote on this proposal soon, but some fear the dispute could threaten the EU's unity. Orban argues that admitting Ukraine, a large country with a strong agricultural sector, would cost the European Union about €186 billion a year in subsidies under the current rules. Ukraine's accession also depends on reforming the common agricultural policy, which, would increase subsidies and shift countries like Hungary and Poland from being net beneficiaries to net contributors. Agricultural subsidies already make up roughly a third of the EU budget. Orban wrote on Facebook that Ukraine would drain funds meant for European families, farmers, and industry. He said he simply could not ignore this responsibility to protect Hungary and the EU from what he called Brussels' unrealistic dream of Ukrainian membership. His concerns actually resonate with some EU members. Poland, a strong supporter of Ukraine's fight against Russia, has joined other Central European countries in backing the return of import duties under the pre-war, deep and comprehensive free trade areas, which were paused after Russia's invasion in 2022. Cheap Ukrainian grain has hurt Poland's market, making agricultural trade, a pretty sensitive issue. Ukraine has begun reforms but still faces challenges. Kiev risks losing up to €2 billion in EU funds after missing 4 reform targets in the first quarter under the Ukraine Facility Program. They have 12 months to fix this, or lose the money. Hungary held a non-binding national poll on Ukraine's EU bid in March, but it faced criticism for low turnout and for biased